Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, everyone. Hey, Miss Dolores. Hello there. Happy Thursday, everyone. Pashay, hello there. Pashia. She told me how to say this already. Pashia. Did I say it right this time? Did I remember? Did I remember that right? Pashia, right? Hey, Mrs. Soso. Hey, Miss Libra. Hey, Teresa. Hello there. Hey, Evangelist. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Lolita. Deja. Hello there. Me and these names. I think I said it right though. I think she's gonna tell me. She's gonna tell me if I said it right. I think I said it right. I really do. I think I said it right. Hey KT. Hello, hello, hello. Alrighty, guys. So this is a case that has took us a spin. Um, and it's I love Savvy. I love you too. I swear, I do. Hey Monique, hello there. How are you? Grand Rising. This is a case here that kind of took a spin, and it's a lot of very intricate details to this case that definitely does matter. Hello there. Hi, hey, I am me. I'm me. Hello, TT. Hello there. If you are new here, please make sure that you do subscribe. Okay. If you are new, hey, Elizabeth. As well as share the live to someone who cares about what's going on around the world because it's a lot going on. Okay. It's a lot. New cases every single day over here. For those that do not know. What? You ain't new. You far from new. Okay? You are far from it. Also this month's raffle. Um wait. When it comes to the super chats and all of that, guys, you know that the super chats for this month goes towards this month's raffle. Okay? Any type of super chat. Listen. Get your tongue in order. I can never be like the rest of the true crime bloggers and just have a nice clean show without my stuff just acting crazy. Anyone that does a super chat, super sticker, any of those things, super thanks, you are entered into this month's raffle where you do get an opportunity to get some exclusive merch that will not be released until around the summertime, but you will be the first to have the new relaunched merch from savageroyalty.com. Okay. That is how this month's raffle works. And every time that you do send any of these things, you do get an extra entry. So just because you send one does not mean that if you send two, you will still have one. If you send two, you'll get two entries, three entries, and so on and so on. That's how this month raffle works. Okay. True. I have subscribed. Thank you. Hey, Janicia. Hello there. I see my Bigo people in here. Did y'all miss me or something? Y'all know that y'all don't have me today. Is that what it is? So y'all said, okay, since I'm not going to have Savvy today, I'm going to go where I know she is because we don't get her today. Fair is fair. Okay. But I may poke out for you guys today because I don't have nothing else to do. I've done the bulk of my homework. Alrighty, guys. This is the case of Nikki. Okay. Come on, thing. Get in order. This is the case of Nikki McCain or Mickey McCann. I'm not sure how she says it. I've heard different ways. So I'm just going to call her Nikki just to be ensured that I'm being respectful and saying her name right. And I know I can say Nikki correctly. Okay. And she had disappeared a while ago, but the prime suspect in her case and who many people believes has something to do with it is her significant other. Okay. This happened out there in California. And her case first started out as a disappearance, but it has now changed into a homicide case. All right. Now, in the background of this whole entire thing, Nikki is 39 years old, and she is a mother to multiple children out there in Redding, California. And she was last seen on May 18th of 2024. Okay. Nikki had text her family members. Yes, she's been missing for a good little bit. Nikki had texted her family members indicating that she was traveling to her mother-in-law's property in Redding. Out there, it's basically on it's on an Indian reservation, is where she was planning to go. Okay. Now, she is also married to someone who's a part of this reservation. So this case is very intricate because of that alone. Okay. And if you understand how it works when it comes to the reservation, it's a lot of moving pieces that is connected to that, especially during an investigation. Okay. So at first, it was the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office that was taking part of this. And then it has changed into the FBI and other departments and organizations has taken part in the search for Nikki. Okay. Now, Nikki was married to Tyler, okay, and he is a member of the reservation who was facing 4 felony charges that was stemming from a domestic violence situation that happened back in December of 2023. Now he was scheduled to go you know he was scheduled to go to court, and she also was settled as well to go to court in regards to these charges. Okay, these charges were domestic violence charges, and they were due to go to court for them. But days prior to that date, she vanished, okay, and did not make it to the court date. So at the time of her disappearance, Nikki had reportedly had confided in her family members to say that she had plans to divorce her husband. And she also feared for her safety at one point in time due to all of the domestic violence in which she was dealing with. There was multiple people that did say that they witnessed Nikki to have bruises and abrasions on her body, as well as alleging that Tyler had once threatened to decapitate her at some point. Nikki was many people also said that he was chasing her through a yard with a large wrench, but he was known to, be the bulk of the abuse within the relationship. With her being someone, with many people are saying that Nikki, she was the type that you could be the most evilest person in the world, but she would find good in it and good in you. And that looks like that this is one of those situations, because regardless of how many times that he would abuse her or, do things to her, she did not want to even put him in jail, guys. She didn't want to put him in jail. She did not want to press charges on him. She just did not want that for him. Okay. But eventually she had to, due to the domestic violence began to grow, but also she has a very supportive family, multiple siblings who told her, listen here, Nikki, okay, you need to press charges, and you also need to document this, because at this point, him and his family is after you and you're trying to protect them. So eventually she did, and that's when where the December charges had came from. Now, one of the biggest concerns in their marriage is that Tyler was in the family home, and he was known to confine himself into the garage of the family house. Now, it is said that in the garage, he was doing drugs in there, and he was staying there for hours. And it was a big concern for Nikki, with some of the family members feeling as though that could have been the reason why some of these domestic violence situations had occurred, is because she was approaching him about his drug use and how she was not in agreement with it. Okay. And it would then turn into a domestic violence situation. So, in the investigation stance, the Reading Police Department had initially handled this case before turning it over to the Sarasota Sheriff's Office. And the detectives had conducted searches, gathered surveillance footage, as well as interviewed multiple witnesses across multiple counties in reference to this case. So, Nikki's truck was then found that was abandoned off of Highway 36 in Tahoma County, which did prompt some searches of nearby properties in that area. Okay. The investigation also expanded to multiple warrants, public appeals, as well as eventually being classified as a homicide on March the 14th of this year. So here is the close, timeline of how things ran down throughout this time. Okay. You have the December 23rd incident where she finally decided to press charges against him for the abuse. Okay. And he was arrested for assaulting her, and he had multiple charges, including false imprisonment. So on May the 7th, Tyler had pled not guilty to domestic violence charges. On May the 17th, Nikki had then texted her sister at around 12:35 a.m. with her final communications, and she said that she was driving to her mother-in-law's, and she was in her mother-in-law's truck. Okay, well, she was in her mother-in-law's truck. And on May the 18th of 2024, Nikki then went missing. Now, on May the 22nd, Nikki was officially reported missing. And I want you to pay attention very closely to the dates that I just now said. On May the 18th, Nikki went missing. On May the 22nd, Nikki was officially reported missing due to her family reporting her missing. Okay? So you must ask yourself, why did it take so long for her husband, of anybody, to even show any? And the family was very much instant in concern for her. Okay. But of course, there was some time in span of her being reported missing, but many people pointed to the direction of the husband. Okay. Now, on May the 25th, her vehicle was then found in Western Tahoma County, and the details was not public until later about this whole entire finding her vehicle and where it was found at. So it is also stated, but not publicly put out there, okay, that during this investigation, okay, they did see and find that there was a burn, a massive 19-acre burning that occurred. This 19-acre burning had occurred around the same area in which her vehicle was found. Now, to add another layer to this is that the property in which the fire happened was Taylor's cousin. Okay, so many people feel as though that they either was attempting to destroy something or get rid of something. Keep in mind, they're still searching for her. Okay, now there also is stating that for the December court date, okay, it was continued until July the 5th. But due to her not being at that court date, they then dismissed it because the victim have to be there. So they dismissed that case on July the 5th because of course she isn't there. She's currently missing. Okay? Now, Tyler was then arrested again on July the 31st of 2024, and Tyler was arrested for driving on a suspended license as well as other violations that's connected to his court orders. So later on March the 14th, Nikki's case was then reclassified as a homicide of this year. Okay. Now, when it comes to the truck discovery, Nikki's avalanche truck was located abandoned in a remote location that was linked to the husband's relative. There is some digital evidence with the text messages that did reveal that Nikki was in fear for her life and intended to leave her husband. Now, you also have multiple search warrants that's connected to the family members' houses of Tyler, okay? And they did find some weapons and things of that nature in some of these searches. Now, the FBI and Homeland Security did do these searches and finding some things, but they did not make any arrests specifically in connection to her disappearance. Okay. All the arrests that has been coming from this case is from things in which either family members are doing, Tyler's doing, either leading up to this or after this. Okay. And during her disappearance. So on, here is what's also kind of weird about this case. Now, the July 31st arrest, okay, on unrelated charges that included the firearms and ammunition and stuff like that, and he was in violation. He did post bail for that. The court hearing for that schedule for some reason dropped off the calendar. Okay. Now, from my understanding, this man here has power. From my understanding, his family has power. Okay. They have the power to erase things. They have the power to delete things, and they have the power to make things non-existent. That's the worry in this case. One of the biggest worries in this case is the people in which this man is connected to back on the reservation. Okay. He has a lot of power that is connected to him. Now, herself, she comes from a really well background family, a lot of support within her family, and he is totally opposite from her in the first place. A girl like her, I feel like, only fell prey to this man because she saw the goodness in everyone. Regardless of how bad they may have been, she found the goodness in him. Okay? And that's how this ended this has ended the way that it did. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Now, when it comes to the whole systematic failures, a lot of people are pointing that out as well. So the charges against Tyler that was dropped due to Nikki's absence, I would think that they wouldn't drop the charges. I would think that they would continue. Why? Because she's missing. There is a case of a missing woman that is connected to a domestic violence situation. I would think that they would leave the case open. It's not just drop the case or dismiss the case because she's not there. Of course, she's not going to be there. She's missing. Okay. So for them to totally dismiss it is a red flag for me. That doesn't make any sense, especially adding to the layer that this is a disappearance with domestic violence and threats included, including the threat of a decapitation, including the threat of multiple people seeing her with bruises and abrasions. Okay. Now, to add another layer to this entire thing is that Tyler, he has the support of his family. Now, prior to all of this happening with the disappearance, because the domestic violence had got so bad, the kids were eventually taken. Okay. The courts on the reservation took the kids and put the kids with Tyler's family. They eventually did some form of, co-parenting custody type of thing with them as well. But along with this, Nikki began to get harassed from Tyler's family. Okay. And then on the back of that, his mother pressed charges against Nikki. Now, keep in mind, this is way before she even put the charges for December of 2023. It was because of the mother pressing charges on her that Nikki's family said, hey, these people are after you. These people are doing what they can to destroy you, and you need to start reporting and documenting what they're doing. And that's why the December 2023 charges came against him. Okay. That lets us know her character. She wasn't in this looking to destroy this man in any way. Of anything, his drug use and her concern of it is what got us in this situation. Okay. And because he's being approached about something that he knows she doesn't agree with, and possibly a secret that he didn't want many people to know that he was a part of, which is this heavy drug use to confining himself into a garage, um, that could have added a layer to it too. And not to mention, he could go in rage from that alone, from the drug use, Please know who you're getting in a relationship with. And that's the thing. Prior to her getting into a relationship with him, from my understanding, he already had charges against him for other things. But because of, who she was and she thought the best of people, she didn't think anything of it. She let it go, continued to move with him and have children and go on with life and even go into marrying him. So before she even got with him, he had already had issues. Okay. Um, I don't know if anyone knows the culture of the reservation right now. Okay. The culture of the reservation right now is in a very dark time to where they're working. People on the reservation are working to try to get a hold of it, but it's hard. Okay. One of the biggest things that is going on reservations right now is alcoholism and drug abuse. Okay. Um, the resources in which we are offered here are not offered there. The opportunities of jobs and things of that nature is not offered there, how we get them on the daily. It's very minimal. Okay. So when it comes to drug abuse and when it comes to alcoholism, they deal with it a lot at a heavy rate, to where there's programs and even them trying to, change culturally when it comes to drug use and alcoholism. It's major on a reservation. Okay. So just imagine dating a person who is a part of this background where this is a normalcy. And she is not a part of that normalcy. She comes from a very strong background. Parents, um, had moved here with their families and their children, and she has some great siblings who truly has been foot on neck with this case. Okay. Um, and so it's just one, and the resources are very limited. So just imagine her having to face people on the reservation in regards to one of their own. It's not gonna go, guys. Okay. Regardless of how much she would have had his best benefit at heart, it would have never been that way. And that's why it ended up being his mother began to harass her. His mother, regardless of how bad he was and how she know that her son is up to no good, she finds a way to find the evil in Nikki versus facing the fact that her son is a drug addict and an abuser. Okay. It was his abuse that caused Nikki and Tyler's children to have to be removed. It was her son's abuse. It wasn't Nikki's abuse, it was her son's abuse. But instead of her being a great mother and sticking beside her daughter-in-law in this abuse, she chose to stand beside her son and attack Nikki. That's what she chose to do. And that's because, if you want to be honest, yes, she's married to him, but she's still an outsider to everyone else. She's still an outsider to everyone else. So Nikki was possibly in a battle of her own, fighting this with this man. And many people did say that they did see Nikki running through the yard from him, and she was screaming outside, and you know, the abuse was very vivid in this household. And it wasn't hidden. Many people saw it. So now that she's missing and her case has been deemed to be a homicide, things is getting a little bit sticky. But the question is, in this case, is how much power does this man have to ensure that things does not, unravel? Because I'm one that believes that with her driving that mother-in-law's truck, and this is just my opinion, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was a whole tracker on that car. I really wouldn't. I really would not be surprised. And she was on her way to do what she thought was a family thing, with family, and it wasn't what it was supposed to be. I honestly believe that. Yeah, I do. Either a tracker on the car. Now, I did see where they said that she was supposed to be meeting someone of the family there. Um, but I haven't seen much of it, so I wasn't sure of that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was a whole tracker. I believe it was I believe allegedly was a setup. Yeah, a setup of some sort, or you know, she thought she was going to go do something, family wise, and it wasn't that, because the plan was already concocted, on what they were going to do. Don't forget, they don't want him in jail. If his mother would take it as far as to press charges against Nikki, we know that how far she would go to ensure that her son doesn't go to jail for domestic violence. Because that's the court date. That's the court date that they were due to go to within the days of her going missing. Okay? I wouldn't even be surprised, in an effort to stop this from happening. Either stop the divorce from happening, or to stop him from either, going to jail for domestic violence. You know? I heard about the tracker on a car. I believe that there possibly was. I do. I believe that there either was a tracker on a car, or she thought that she was going to go run an errand of some sort, and it really wasn't what it was set up, what it was looked to be. And when she got to a certain location, it was just, or because let's not forget, she's still missing, you know. Um, she's still missing. But for them to say that it's a homicide now, we have to understand that with them saying it's a homicide, there's evidence there to believe so. The question now is, who did it? Hey, Layla, that's the question now. The question now is, who did it though? But there's enough evidence there. Yeah. Yeah, they're looking, but investigators, the way that they're putting it, they're looking for remains. And we have to be sure, we have to understand that with them saying that, in order for them to switch this over to homicide, it's evidence there to believe so. Now, what that evidence is, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it could be because of how long she was gone, but there has to be something there to prove why they would change it to that. Um, but yeah, yeah. So, he hasn't been arrested. And let me tell you how bold this guy is. There's a picture where, and I'm gonna add another layer to this. He didn't. Do you guys know he didn't go to speak for his wife, or search, or any search press conferences for about the first, I think they said 10 months or a year or something like that? It was months before he decided to even make a statement in regards to her disappearance. Okay? For him to not even show up for any form of press conference for a woman in which you have children by, to make a statement or anything, no, absolutely not. That right there is a red flag in itself. Is a red flag within itself. Because and then he also flipped the family off. He gave them a middle finger when he did appear, okay? He flipped them the bird, her sisters. Um, I believe allegedly he destroyed her remains so no one will find her, or the family paid the law enforcement off. He's a narcissist. He didn't care about her at all. At all she was going. Her at all she was going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I believe that too. I believe that because of the power that he has. That's why I said, Monique, for the power that he has, we don't know. And let's not forget that fire that happened. Let's not forget the fire, okay, that happened around the same area in which her vehicle was found. And that property is connected to their family members. Let's not forget that part because that is very pivotal, pivotal point of this situation. That's what this is. For us to see a massive fire happen in the same area of a car of someone who is missing, connected to the family of someone who has abuse allegation to this same said missing person, that's a pivotal point of any investigation. So he could have possibly destroyed it, and he could have had either authorities or people that he know cover this up because I find it real strange that cases are dropping off calendars and things. Okay? That's kind of strange to me. Cases, I've never seen cases just drop, especially when it's cases of violation of order and it just drops off the calendar. So I seen someone ask, when did this happen? May 18th, 2024. May 18th, 2024 is when all of this began to kick up. They do make, narcissist people do make mistakes and leave traces because they're so arrogant and cocky thinking that they won't get caught. They do. And then their mind, they can't get caught. And I'm gonna tell you what happens with them. Because they do it so much, they get comfortable, so comfortable to where it begins to get messy, to where they can't clean up as much as they used to, or they can't keep track of the previous lies told or the previous steps taken. And it's because they've gotten so comfortable with getting away with things or thinking that they've gotten away with things that they begin to screw up at some point. That happens a lot. And I think that that is possibly why we're getting this new homicide update because there's some messiness going on somewhere. And I'm going to tell you something. With him deciding to come to a press conference after a year of her going missing, that's messy in itself because you ain't been here this whole time. You wasn't here for the search. You wasn't here for the search press conferences. You wasn't here asking for any assistance. You haven't showed up to anything in regards to your missing wife. But a year later, you decide to pop up to a press conference, flip the bird to the family members. Okay? When the case is taking a shift. That leads me to believe that one of the two things happened here. Either the authorities is applying pressure and he felt as though that, you know what, let me go ahead and show up so they cannot think that it's me. Because they feel like, okay, they feel like I got to make a quick change. Let me make a quick change. I haven't been to any of them, so I haven't spoke about anything. So let me do it now just to see if it's going to change anything. And it could be because they are applying pressure. He had to make an appearance to act like that he cared. Exactly. I think that's what happened because the pressure is on now. I find it real strange that when he suddenly starts to appear for press conferences to make a statement and things of that nature, homicide charges is hereafter and things of that nature. It's because the pressure is on. The stove is turned on high and he don't know what to do about it. It's high. He's burning right now. And so he's trying to make quick decisions, but these quick decisions are a bit too late because you should have been at a press conference a year ago. You should have been at the searches a year ago. You should have been a lot of places a year ago that you were not at. But you found time to catch more charges, to violate the orders that was already existing. You found time to do that, but you didn't find time to put an effort to searching for the mother of your children, by the way. Hmm. You know? So it's just one of those situations. I think it's a battle of reservation, a battle, the reservation whole mix up there. And you guys know, if you don't know, hey Empress, how are you, love? If you don't know the battle of the reservation, guys, they're like it's like fighting a or organization of its own. And while she was married to this man, she still wasn't a part of them. Regardless of if they were married or not, he's one of their own. And because of the power and the money that is connected to this man and his family, it's a lot of things that could have went on in regards to Nikki. Do you think he was seeing someone else at the time? Nope. I don't even think that. I thought about that earlier. I don't think he was seeing someone else. We got to go back to what you said earlier, Monique, about narcissists. One thing that narcissists hate is a fear of losing. They have a fear of losing. Okay? We know this. They hate losing. Narcissists hate feeling like that someone else have a power over them, a one over them. So keep in mind, she had two ones cooking for him. One, she finally fought back through courts and documenting of domestic violence. And two, she was in preparations to leave. She had already begun to start that process. Okay. There was at one point in time during this relationship prior to her going missing that she did go to be with family. Let's not forget that part. Okay. She left to be with family. But you know what this narcissist would do? Call family members to get Nikki to come back home, like the good old narcissist, in fear that he's going to lose her. So he would then contact family, trying to dress himself up as a great concerning husband when that is not what he was at all. It was just a narcissist that felt like that he lost control of something or someone. Okay. And eventually she would come back. Okay. She would come back because you guys know, if you ever dealt with a narcissist before, it is hard to get to release them back to society and you leave them alone because they're very persistent. They're very persistent. He would text her family members, and whenever she would go to her family home to stay there because of the abuse, he would call and harass them about Nikki coming home and da da da. Da, and eventually she would come home and he would go back to the abuse again. So I honestly believe that it was his fear of loss that led him to this. Honest. Because one thing he would have lost on is courts. And once she would have finalized the divorce, he definitely would have lost that too. Okay. Now, I haven't been able to grasp a full understanding of how profitable this family is either, because we have to also think about that. With them saying that this family have multiple properties and they're a very powerful family, it also could play the role if they don't want her to take a piece of it. That can be there too, because she could have during a divorce. She could have. And if family members felt the need to assist, it will lead me to, if it comes out that family was a part of this, I'm going to believe that it was because they were afraid that she was going to take a piece of the pie during this divorce. Not to mention, he will have to go to jail. That's a loss on top of a loss. That's three losses in surrounding a narcissist and his loved ones who are willing to protect him. People who protect narcissists are dangerous, along with the narcissist, because they don't see they don't see the methods of their madness. They don't see it. because narcissists have two ways. They have their good and their bad. One person may see them this way while the other one may see them this way. And they know how to adjust to situations. They know how to flip the mask on who they're dealing with. Pending who they're dealing with will determine which mask you will receive. And they're great at that. So his family probably never seen the dark side. And if they did see the dark side, because he's a narcissist, Nikki would be the blame. And that could explain why the mother felt the need to press charges on Nikki, knowing that her son was abusive, because this abuse was no secret. There's neighbors and people saying that they've seen her running from him with a large wrench through the yard publicly. There's people that are saying that they've seen her with marks and bruises on her face and on her neck. One person said that they seen her with marks on her neck that looked like a handprint, as if he tried to strangle her. So this wasn't an abuse that was hidden, that people can say, well, we didn't know about the abuse. Nobody ever seen. This wasn't that. Wasn't that at all. Yeah, people knew of his behavior. Very much so. So no, I don't think, I think that it was afraid of fear of loss. Loss of what is the question? Money, power, jail, marriage. Those are the losses here that he would have took. Yeah, that's what I think honestly caused it. I don't think that the drug thing, and the reason why I don't think the drug thing plays a major role, like, you know, whether he was mad because either she was telling people he was on drugs or anything like that. And the reason why I don't believe it's that is because drugs is so prevalent there on the reservation. Alcohol is so it's like everybody has a family member that does it, so it's like a normal thing for them. I believe the mother knew that her son was that way. Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to ask yourself, Joyce, your son, okay, is abusing his wife so badly to where his children had to the reservation. And I'm gonna get into that in a minute, but the reservation decided to put the children with the mother of the son of Tyler, okay? But when Nikki decided to voice her concerns, and when the domestic violence became well known, his mother decided to assist with pressing charges against Nikki as if she's the abuser when her son is the abuser. So I know that she knew what her son was about. I think that this is a mother that's willing to protect him by all means. You guys know them types of moms. You guys know that there are some moms out there that when it comes to their sons can be very brutal and domestic to women and things of that nature, but she doesn't care. That's her baby boy, and you better not put him in jail. You guys know that there are people out there that are like that. So I know that his mother knew what he was capable of. And let's just be honest. He was capable of this before Nikki even came into his life. Before Nikki even came into his life, he was already getting charges for alcohol and things of that nature, and driving, driving while intoxicated and all these different types of things. So he had already had his vices before he got into this relationship with Nikki. So his mother knew. She knew. But she's one of those ones that's going to protect her son, regardless of how sick he may be. You know? And we can also add to the layer of reputation. This family could have also been afraid of the reputation that comes with this entire situation. And they wanted it to be hush, hush, be quiet. Because I don't know where they get their funding from. I don't know what they do by profession. But from my understanding, they're powerful, And they could have not wanted what comes with the reputation of knowing that their son is committing domestic violence against his wife, and the children are being removed from the home. And my thing is this is, why did you guys put the kids with the father's parents when he is the one that's being abusive? So basically, you gave him full roam of the children, but remove the woman that's being abused. That in itself is a power play, because the children, if of anything, should have went with Nikki's parents or Nikki's sister, because the abuser is over there on the Tyler's mother's side. So why would you put him with the mother, his mother's children? I mean his mother. Why would you put the kids with his mother and he's the one that's being abusive? If he would abuse her, I wouldn't trust him around no kid. I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust. So that order and alone is very much a very strategic court order. And it could be because who knows of why they decided to put the kids with her. But I wouldn't put it I wouldn't have put the kids going with her was not smart at all. Mm-mm. The reservation itself is covering it up as well. They knew about his behavior long before she went missing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But mm-mm. No. So this is one of those cases, guys, that's very eerie. But something tells me that there's about to be a break in this case. I'm gonna give it about 3 months. And the reason why I say that, and I mean no more than 3 months, the reason why I say that is because for them to come a whole year later and decide that this will be a homicide, there has been a lot of questioning done. There has been a lot of evidence collecting. There has possibly been a lot of surveilling. There has been a lot going on in this last year. And they know that in order to deem it a homicide, they must have enough evidence. That's what they do know. So that when they do charge someone, it's enough evidence to convict them. So something tells me that within the next couple of months, there's going to be an arrest. And I must say, I've seen some pictures of him before all of this and him after. He's stressed. You can tell that this guy is in a sunken place right now compared to how he looked when Nikki was with him and, you know, in the relationship. And I guess the relationship was in a happier place versus the most recent images of him talking to the press. Looks stressed. Whatever is on his soul is on his spirit. It is sitting there heavy. Whatever it is. Whatever role was played, it is eating him up. He looks You can tell that this has been a hard year. It's been a hard year. He does look nervous. Yeah. And from my understanding, he was seen acting very paranoid at some point during the investigations as well. Very paranoid acting with him. hmm But yeah. So that's that, guys. We will be monitoring if any updates do come for this case. I will let you guys know. I am also monitoring the case of Graceland, Vicky, Gracie Vick. Is I think Vicky or Vic. Graceland. If you have you guys have been keeping updated on that case, the 6-year-old little girl who was reported missing, and hours later she was found on the family's property. And this family's property is a very secluded area. They're waiting for an autopsy report to come back for it right now, and I am patiently waiting because when I looked at the area of this house, no outsider should be here. Okay. Savvy, what do the 3 R's on your shirt mean? 3 R's? What are you talking about? Right here? Oh, it's letters like it say roar and ha. What you doing all the way up here? What are you doing? What you doing? I don't know. It just letters everywhere. Yes, that one says yes. Raw. It's like lips. I guess she's saying raw. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all are so random. It's sad how now so many kids have started. Man, so many kids are missing right now. So many children. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the kids, guys, but we are in some dark times. Our children are a target. I'm convinced. Very much so. It's a lot going on with kids right now. It's a lot. Very much a lot. And just hold your babies. And like I've been telling people, if you have kids in your life that's not your children, they are your children. Okay? Nieces, nephews, cousins. If they're in your area, if they're in your home, if they're your next door neighbor, if your friend, your kids play with their kids, those are your kids too, and handle it just like that. We need all hands and all eyes on deck when it comes to the babies. The village, yes, is broken, but there are still some of us out here that still have a nurturing spirit. And so I say that as a person with the same nurture, with a certain nurturing spirit. Your kids is my kids and their kids is my kids. And if yours is around mine, I'm protecting them. If I see yours in trouble, I'm protecting them. If I see yours in a need for help, I'm protecting them. I am protecting all of everybody's kids. Everybody's kids is mine. Okay. It is what it is. And that's how I'm walking through the world. If your children is in trouble, I'm helping your children. If your children needs help, I'm helping your child. If your children, if anything, I am watching everybody's kids. Um, I forgot to send that one. I have to share the video that she did on the story. I forgot to see. I forgot to send that one, Joyce. Which one? Which one? I'm always looking for yeah, I'm looking out for all people's children. It's too much going on. It's too much going on to where now I am now everyone's I'm watching everybody's kids. I'm out if I'm just I'm it's just a lot, guys. All right. All right, so Bigo, don't go looking for me. Y'all do not have me today. I don't know what y'all gonna watch on Bigo today, okay? But you guys enjoy you guys' show over there. I don't know what y'all have going on, but it won't be Savage Royalty. So don't go looking, okay? Y'all, the way that they be sitting there waiting for me to press that live because everybody else is like drama. They don't like, I don't wanna. Hey, Miss Funk. Most definitely. I was just at a store yesterday and checked these men looking at this little girl. See what I'm saying? Gotta put yeah, you this is it's crazy. It's crazy. But yes, Bigo, you guys don't have me today. All right. I'm about to go upstairs and do some cleaning. I'm gonna take some pictures of my garden I started. I'm gonna post it on spaces today. Since I don't have much to do, I've done the bulk of my classwork. So I'm gonna post some of the plants on spaces today so that you guys can see that I am growing some carrots, tomato, cucumber, sunflowers, um, watermelon, and a bunch of other stuff. Okay. So I'm about to go take some pictures of it because that's what I'm about to go work on doing right now. I'm about to go working on my garden because I got to get ready to prep to put them outside. I'm starting in-house right now because of the weather, and then I'm about to get ready to prep them to go outside. I'm gardening too, cucumbers, tomatoes, watermelon, etc. Me too. I'm packing for my 2-week trip to Cali and getting this house in order. You going on a 2-week trip to Cali? I can't wait till my vacation. My vacation is not until July. And I am so ready. I'm ready for vacation. I have the Royal Cruise coming up, and I am planning for the Royal Cruise. Okay. I'm going to have a bigger Royal Cruise coming up in 2026. So y'all get ready. Okay. If you ever want to meet me and come to a meet and greet, I'm having a bigger Royal Cruise. It will be coming in 2026. It's going to be a bigger one. This is the smaller one. So I'm telling you guys now so that you guys won't say, because the Bigo people say, why you didn't tell us? I did say it. It was just a smaller one. I'm currently cleaning, vacuuming now. I'm trying to watch too. Yeah, so that's what I'm about to go do. Clean up a little bit, garden a little bit, and relax. Okay. 2026, I'm there. Yes. So make sure that you guys stay updated on the date. I will be dropping it very, very much soon. It will be around the summertime of 2026. Okay. I'm actually going to be doing my booking later. I want to in August. I'm going to be booking in August so that I can begin to get you guys prepared for the planning. And the way cruises work is that you will be able to pay on a monthly basis, and then a month before the cruise, it has to be paid. Okay. So you'll be able to do a payment plan and stuff like that. So when I do that, I will let you guys know. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for tuning in to True Crime with Savage.